prepare all of my projects to the best of my ability, basing them on the Toastmasters education program, to prepare for and fulfill meetings assignments, to provide fellow members with helpful constructive evaluations, to help the club maintain the positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow, to serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so, to treat my fellow club members and all our guests with respect and courtesy, to bring guests to club meetings so they can see the benefits Toastmasters membership offers, to adhere to the guidelines and rules for all Toastmasters educational and recognition programs, to act within Toastmasters' core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities. And I say, so help me God. Thank you very kindly for coming along with me. At this juncture, I would like to bring to the virtual lecture the president of the prestigious Festac Toastmasters International Club. A minute, please. She is a serial entrepreneur, the CEO of Nora K International, a boutique company with interests in events management, real estate, and interior design. She's the founder and chief administrator of Lagos School of Interior Design. She started her Toastmasters journey in 2016 as a member of Lighthouse Prestige Toastmasters Club, Victoria Island. She is fondly called, Nora K, as she's fondly called, is a humanitarian, a member of the Rotary Club Lagos West, where she is currently serving as a youth service chair. She's an alumni of Lagos Business School. She's passionate about bettering the lives of others and believes that every dream is achievable if only one puts their mind to it. She enjoys interacting with like minds on progressive ideas, such as personal development and making money. Join me as I welcome Toastmaster Nora Ezeoha, the shuttle president of the prestigious Festac Toastmasters Club. Take it away.
Do we have Tim Nora in the house?
I think Tim Nora isn't on the call. Let me confirm that.
Someone should let her in. She's having network issues. Yes.
But there is no one in the lobby. Okay. I think she's in now.
All right. Should we go ahead?
Toastmaster could be your mic is mute. Unless you're not speaking to her. Can we go ahead while we wait for Madam President to sort out her network channel?
Just a moment, Division Director. Let me confirm what the challenge is, please. Okay, see you soon. Ladies and gentlemen, the president has network challenges, and of course, we will have to continue with the meeting. So she has just given me permission to, by way of a few remarks, standing for her at the opening. I want to welcome everybody, Toastmasters guests, division executives, Toastmasters visiting from other clubs, very importantly, all the guests that we have on the call today, to this meeting of Festac Toastmasters Club. It's the first in the month of January, and of course, we are going to have a swell time. If you think we're going to have a swell time, let's see an emoticon on your screen. Let's see something. Let's see something. Drop a message in the chat box. Yes. And if you're a guest, please, let's see a G in the chat room. Okay. So to go forward, of course, you have to touch on the theme of the meeting, and the theme of this meeting is turn your obstacles into opportunities. We just saw an obstacle a few moments ago, network issues, the president couldn't join, and that turned to an opportunity for me to flex my tongue skills ahead of my speech. So I will take that as an opportunity. But the truth is, in life, obstacles will always come. I mean, there is a saying that the obstacle is the way. So if you see an obstacle, you're very lucky, because what you now have is a choice to make, right? When you don't have an obstacle, you are not even sure what you need to overcome. So that's one thing that we need to put at the back of our minds, that the obstacle is the way. And whenever we see an obstacle, we know that we have a choice to make, and it's better than not even having a choice at all. At this point, we'll step aside. Oh, I see a guest, Angela Badu, welcome. I'll step aside and allow the president, who just indicated that she is on the call, to round off with just a few remarks and introduce the Toastmaster of the day. Thank you. Madam President, please.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Can you hear me?
Good afternoon.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
Going to introduce the Toastmaster of the day. I apologize for my absence due to the network issue. Toastmaster Elemero Ademola Nohim is a past president of the Ikeja Toastmasters. Currently the club growth director for Division F and Vice President Public Relations, Festac Toastmasters Club. He joined Toastmasters in 2015 and has been consistent ever since then. He is also a human resource generalist, policy options analyst, and the chief press secretary to Lekki Local Council Development Area. He's a graduate of both Lagos State University and University of Lagos. His major goal for 2022 to practice tolerance. Hobbies are reading, running, seeing romantic movies, and memorizing new quotes. His favorite quotes is, "If you truly want to change the world, judge a man by the size of his heart and not his slippers." Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Toastmaster Lemoro Ademola Nohin. Round of applause, please.
Thank you very kindly, Madam President. I really appreciate the fact that despite the obstacles, you were still able to make yourself available. And kudos to Toastmaster Kubi for stepping in on your behalf. And I do want to appreciate as well Toastmaster Josephine for the wonderful way she has put today's meeting in motion. It is a pleasure to be your Toastmaster of the day, and I'm so excited for many reasons. And one of the reasons I'm excited is because we have an interesting lineup of Toastmasters here, and I can see some new names. And at the same time, I'm also excited because of the theme of today's meeting, which is turning opportunities into obstacles. What makes this theme interesting is that number one, it is something we can all say one or two things about. It is a kind of theme that we all understand what the message or the concept behind this is trying to convey. And the second thing is the fact that everyone in those masses has something about them that that is more like a threat or an obstacle. And being a Toastmaster allows you to turn that obstacle into opportunities. So we see individuals that have glossophobia or that struggle with glossophobia, and then they come into Toastmasters, and after a year or two, they understand the art and they start teaching other people about Toastmasters. And we have individuals that have been able to monetize this particular skill. So that's a very good example of turning your obstacles into opportunities. And I strongly believe in a lot of ways that is what Toastmasters is all about, turning our obstacles into opportunities. So if every of our Festac Toastmasters executive, they are listening, whatever challenges you're having or obstacles you are facing right now in terms of, making Toastmasters, Festac Toastmasters real, I believe at the end of the day, they are going to become opportunities for everyone. So thank you very much, Madam President, once again for that lovely introduction. Without taking much of our time, I would like to introduce to you all today our general evaluator. Our general evaluator for today's meeting is an auto technician who is also keen on self-development. He's a lover of advanced politics and the science of strategy. He is passionate about inspiring people and believes possibilities are boundless. He is the program quality director for Area 16. And of course, he is a very interesting Toastmaster as well. Please join me as I welcome to the virtual platform this afternoon, our general evaluator, Toastmaster Olumide Ajibade. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you is a recognition of humanity. In that connection, thank you most affectionately for the magnificence of your introduction. Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, Kaizen, a Japanese word, which means continuous improvement, is our watchword in Toastmasters. And that is why a general evaluator is in place to ensure the meeting doesn't fall below quality, to commend and recommend the areas for improvement. However, I won't be doing this alone. I will introduce my team, and before the end of the meeting, tell you what our roles, tell you my observation and how we can improve the meeting. Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, the first team member of my team is the timer. We all know for every meeting, for every event, for every occasion, we invite someone. What they ask for is the date, the duration. So a timer, in essence, will cover all these things. Who is the timer for today? The timer is a friendly someone, a friendly person, intending Toastmaster Best Uzokwe. He is a mechanical engineer by profession with Rain Oil, and also the founder of Great Minds. Fellow Toastmasters, make welcome intending Toastmaster Best Uzokwe for the introduction of his role. You have the spotlight.
Thank you very much, Tia Molumide. It's indeed a pleasure to be among great minds like you all. Toastmasters and my honored guests, welcome you to today's meeting. As we all know, time is of a great essence. Time is very important, and time is a tool that we need to use wisely. Today, I'll be the timekeeper, and I'll ensure that we all work with time. As I said earlier on, time is of great essence. Basically, my role is to make sure that all the speakers and everybody playing a role in today's meeting keep to the appropriate time. I just want to show, I will mention the 3 signal signs that I would use for today. Now, if you see the green card, that is me telling you all that you should start concluding your speech or whatever you're saying at that particular time. Now, if you see the yellow card is me telling you to round up, and then the red card is me telling you to stop. I would also advise that you ping my screen so that you can see these cards when I put them up on the screen. Thank you very much, Tia Volumide.
Thank you very kindly, intending Toastmaster Best Uzokwe. To echo what intending Toastmaster Best Uzokwe said, for those that will be partaking in the table topic session, when it is a minute, it will display the green card. When it is a minute and 30 seconds, it will display the yellow card. And when it is 2 minutes, it will brandish the red card. You have the grace of 30 seconds to vacate the virtual lectern, or else you will be disqualified. For the prepared speeches, when it's 5 minutes, it will show the green card. When it's 6 minutes, it will display the yellow card. And when it is 7 minutes, it will brandish the red card. You also have the grace of 30 seconds to vacate the spotlights. The next member of my team is the grammarian. We all know that language is a currency of communication, and it is the medium in which we are communicating, interacting with ourselves on this platform. Hence, there is a grammarian. Who is our grammarian for today? He is an experienced accountant and a Toastmaster of many years. A Triple Crown Toastmaster Educational Award winner, he is a living witness to the quote, "It seems impossible until it is done." He loves to wear a smile, and you will see that. Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, make welcome our grammarian for today, Toastmaster Francis Mukulu.
Thank you most kindly. Special thanks, Mr. General Evaluator. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you once again. As you have rightly mentioned, I'll be your grammarian for today. And as a grammarian, I have two major responsibilities. First off is to introduce you to a new word. According to Steve Martins, an American author, he said, some individuals have always loved words. They always want to use words. They always find a way around words, whereas others, they are very indifferent. So it is my duty as a grammarian to make you love words, to make you want to use words. And I will do this by introducing the word of the day to you today. So our word for today is splendiferous. Our word for today, I don't know if the silent and arms can help project, if it's available. Our word for the day is splendiferous. Splendiferous. So splendiferous, which means extraordinarily impressive or absolutely fantastic. Extraordinarily impressive or absolutely fantastic. The synonyms are beautiful, splendid, excellent, and grand. So I enjoin every one of you to infuse the word of the day as we make our presentations today. Like I mentioned, I have two major responsibilities. The second is to help us ensure we use proper structure, proper grammatical structure during the course of our meeting. So I will as well pinpoint incorrect sentences and grammar constructions. I will also pinpoint incorrect use of the word of the day. On a positive note, I will also applaud splendiferous use of phrases and words. I will make a second comment soon, and that will be to give my report. Till then, back to you, the general evaluator.
Thank you for relinquishing control of the spotlight. That session was splendiferous. Fellow Toastmasters, the third member of my team is the R counter. This person also loves wearing a smile. She is a writer by profession, creative writing. She also loves public speaking. Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, make welcome our counter for today, intending Toastmaster Zoe Octavia.
Thank you very much, CM Olumide Ajibade. Toastmasters, if we all agree that four major purposes for public speaking would be informing our audience, persuading our audience, entertaining our audience, and what last one could it be? We would also agree that the use of M's and R's and you knows would be obstacles on the path of our achieving our successful speeches. I am Zoe Octavia Obaze. Today, I'd be encouraging us to work at overcoming and surmounting this obstacle of ours so that we can have a splendiferous success in our speeches going forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you very kindly, the R counter, telling us that the R's, the ons make our speeches splendiferous. So stay clear of our counters. Fellow Toastmasters, the last member of my team is a banker by profession. She is the division director of our division. She is our division director. Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, make welcome our listening evaluator for today's meeting, Toastmaster Chidi Chukudi Madu, DTM. You have the floor.
Hello, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Thank you very kindly, Toastmaster Ajibade, for that splendiferous introduction. My role today as the listening evaluator is to evaluate how well we have listened. Research has shown that 80% of humans listen to respond, but not to understand. And if we have to go by the 7 habits of highly effective people, say seek first to understand, then be understood. And the only way we can understand is by listening to understand. So I'll gauge how well we listen by coming back at the request of the general evaluator and asking questions based on what has been said in the course of the meeting. So fellow Toastmasters and guests, please listen to understand and not to respond, because I will ask questions after this meeting. General evaluator, you have the virtual lectern.
Thank you most graciously, the listening evaluator. Seek first to listen, then understand before responding. If only people listen more, maybe there will be less rancor among people. Maybe we will live in harmony. Maybe the world will be a better place. So a listening evaluator is very essential in a meeting. And in fact, a Toastmasters meeting. Before the end of the meeting, my team and I, we give the evaluations and the reports of how we've fared in the course of the meeting. So sit back, enjoy the rest of the meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very kindly, Toastmaster Olumide, for that beautiful approach you've used in handling that particular segment of the meeting. I do look forward to all our role players' report at the penultimate segment of the meeting. Thank you very kindly to everyone so far for your efforts. I would like to introduce to you all a very interesting segment as well, which is a table topic segment. Without taking much of our time, I would like to introduce our table topics master. She is a passionate and resilient lady who lives life as positively as possible. She loves to read. She loves listening to cool and sweet music. Please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the virtual lectern, our topics master for today. And I believe she will be telling us about what the table topics segment is about, particularly with regards to our guests. Please join me as I welcome Toastmaster Jane Osemwingi.
Thank you so much, kindly, the Toastmaster of the day. Good day, fellow Toastmaster and guests. I'm super excited to join you guys today's meeting. Today's splendiferous Toastmaster meeting. And this is one of the, very excited to be handling the table topic session today, and one of the most interesting sessions in Toastmaster. And table topic sessions helps members to develop their ability to organize their thoughts quickly and also to respond to impromptu speeches, topic, or any questions. So as a Toastmaster, it's very pertinent for you to be able to speak on your feet, whether you're prepared or not. So it helps this session help you to articulate your thoughts, train you to be able to respond to any questions or any topic at any given time. So such an honor to be handling this session today. And before I just start, I'll just quickly chip in this quote by Martin Luther King Jr., who says that, well, life for none of us has been a crystal stair. We must keep moving, we must keep going. That if you cannot run, if you can't walk, we run. If you can't run, we walk. And if you can't walk, we should crawl. But by all means, we should keep moving, irrespective of the obstacles in our way, irrespective of the challenges that we all face as humans. It's part of challenges are part of our lives as well. So our main goal is for us to conquer those challenges. As we're doing that, let's keep moving no matter what. Let's keep pushing. I would like to. So today I have 5 questions to ask my fellow audience today, and before I ask for volunteer, I'd like to read one of the first questions today first. The first question I have here on my list is, what has life taught you recently? I'd like to get a volunteer to respond to that. If I don't have a volunteer, I'm going to call someone myself. So, okay. Can I get TM Queen? Is she in the house? TM Queen, can you please help us with that? I think you're on mute. Thank you
Good
so much.
afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests, and good afternoon, Toastmaster Jane, our topic master of the day. Recently, with all the COVID-19, which we're still recovering from, if you can say it's over, it's not fully over. One thing that it has taught me is to slow down in life and to take a breather. Because when COVID started, it forced us all to slow down. If you're not going out every day, you had to stay home and take things slower. You couldn't get things the minute you wanted them. You had to slow down. You had to be patient. Even with yourself, you had to be patient. And another thing it has taught me was to open my mind. Before COVID, like we didn't even have virtual meetings. A few clubs had, but it wasn't the norm. And with COVID, we have learned that we can learn new things. It's not as absurd as we think it is. So when we get new ideas now, we're not so quick to reject it, because things that you thought you could never do, we're doing virtual meetings like almost every day. Not often. Most meetings are virtual these days. So those are the main two things that COVID I have learned recently: to slow down, to embrace new things, not to be too rigid with what I already know, to embrace new things. And just one more thing was also to read more, because during COVID, working from home, you don't have that commute time. So you have that extra time to do other things. And one thing I did was to read, and that helped me grow and expand my knowledge. So reading more, slowing down, and opening your mind. Those are the things that I have learned most recently. Back to you, table topics, madam.
Thank you so much, TM Queen, for that beautiful impromptu speech. Thank you so much. So my next question here is, what do you owe yourself? Can I get a volunteer, please? If I don't have a volunteer, I'm just going to pick someone. Can I get Otavia? I love your name, Otavia. Can you please respond to that? Otavia Zoel Obaze. I love Otavia. I like the name. Thank you.
Explain the role. I think Josephine is raising her hand.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay. I didn't see that. So over to you, Toastmaster Josephine. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very kindly, Madam Table Topic Mistress, for that question. What do I hold myself? What I hold myself is to deal with my fears, is to deal with my obstacles, is to face my obstacles and see the opportunities therein. Like as I'm talking to you, my heart is pounding. And that is why I'm here at Toastmasters. How can somebody be talking and the heart will be pounding? Igbim, Igbim, Igbim. What for? What I hold myself now, 2022, is to deal with my fears. My heart pounding like where they are pounding pounded yam. I don't understand it. I'm working towards getting rid of that fear. That is why you saw when I came in to start off the meeting, you see me talking even what the president is supposed to say. It is my overzealousness trying to deal with my fears. That is why I go, you see me going the extremes. People are asking me, please take it easy, calm down. That is my own way of dealing with my fear. I own myself the opportunity in 2022 to deal with my fears, just so I could be given splendorous speeches at everywhere I find myself. Thank you, Madam Table Topic Mistress, for that question. Over to you.
Thank you kindly, Toastmaster Josephine. Thank you so much for that impromptu response. So my third question is, what do you find inspirational? Can I get a volunteer, please? If I don't get a volunteer, I'd like to call a special friend and my Toastmaster boss, I would say.
I believe we have guests in the house too.
Okay. Toastmaster Uzoma Pascal. Uzoma, I apologize if I don't pronounce your name properly. Can you take over the virtual legend, please?
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Uzoma Pascal Uma, and if I heard you well, you asked what I found inspirational. For me, I think making a progress in life is what I find inspirational, because most times, like the other speaker said, she has a fear of speaking. Most times her heart is pounding. It's the same with almost everybody, including me. So when I make a progress, no matter how little it is, I get more inspired to do more. I get more inspired to become the best version of myself. And that is what life is all about. It's not about becoming the perfect speaker, but it's about making a daily progress to where you want to be. So that's what inspires me. And secondly, I'm inspired by kindness. In a world filled with hatred, filled with injustice, when I see someone being kind, that inspires me, that motivates me, knowing that we still have some good people around us in the world. And that's one thing I would try to encourage anybody I meet, everybody that come by my way. Please show a little kindness. It goes a whole lot. We are all dealing with different things in this life. Some very severe things that you won't even understand till another person opens up to you. No matter how others claim they are very bold and strong, always try to show a little kindness. It melts the heart. It helps everyone overcome their fears, and it would help the world turn around and become a better place for everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, TM Uzoma. Thank you so much for that impromptu speech. Kindness is the latest attraction right now. Whether you're beautiful and handsome, you're not kind, you're ugly, you have to be kind. The fourth question I have here is, why are you? Can I get a guest to respond to that? Guest in the house. Okay, if I don't see a guest in the house, I would like to call a friend and an ex-colleague and my Toastmaster, someone that really inspired me in this Toastmaster journey, our current divisional director, DTM Chidi. I'd like you to respond to that, ma'am. Thank you so much. I call her my Toastmaster boss.
Wow. Thank you most graciously, Madam Table Topics Master. Good evening. Why do I keep saying evening? I think I'm used to Festac Toastmasters meeting in the evening. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Why am I me? Well, I'm me because I can be nobody else. I guess God had taken his time to create every other person, and he realized that I need to make this young lady unique. I need to make her different. I need to make her a splendiferous human. I am me because I believe in myself. I am me because I am a sister like no other. I'm a wife like no other. I'm a mother like no other. I'm a friend like no other. And I guess I can say I'm a division director like no other. The truth is, every one of us are unique in our own way. We have that unique factor that differentiates us from every other person. And the moment we begin to understand that there are no two persons like us, then we can begin to live our unique lives. Because look at it, even twins, no matter how identical they are, have their own distinct identities. There's always something different, no matter how minute that thing is. So, Madam Table Topics Master, I am me because I am Chidi Chukudumadu. I'm a friend, sister, mother. I'm a Toastmaster. And I guess I'm one of those mothers that battle with her child who wants to take over her computer and be part of her meeting. So I guess this is why I am me. Back to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you so much, DTM Chidi. Thank you so much for that beautiful impromptu speech. Yes, you have to be authentic. You have to be yourself. The last question for today's session is, what are you most grateful for? Can I get someone to respond to that? What are you most grateful for? There's something you should be grateful for something. There's something you have to be grateful for. Can I get someone to respond to that? Okay. I'll just pick a volunteer since I didn't have anyone here.
ITM Zuma was indicating that she would like to deliver a speech. I don't know if she could accommodate that.
Sorry?
I'm suggesting that we ask ITM Uzuma to give the table topic speech. She was
okay, she has already. She has gone already. Thank you. I will just nominate Toastmaster Otavia. She here, Toastmaster Otavia, before I call Toastmaster Otavia Spencer.
That while I escaped the first table topic question that you gave out, it has come back to me. What am I most grateful for? I'm grateful for you, first of all. Grateful for the questions you have asked, because in the past few minutes, each of the questions, while they were not directed at me in particular, have taken me into myself to ask myself what exactly my answers would be if I were asked those questions. It's splendiferous how my life has evolved from when I grew conscious of myself. When I say conscious of myself, of course, we're all born on perhaps October 10, but how did we know we were born then? Somebody told us. It's interesting. So when I say conscious of myself, I mean at the time when I knew, for instance, that I didn't want pink, I wanted purple. So from those times up until now, I'm grateful for the people I have met, the persons that birthed me, the people that raised me, those persons that shoved me, those persons that looked down on me, those persons that encouraged me. And right now, I'm grateful for the persons who, in their own quarters, are motivating themselves to achieve their goals. I'm grateful for them because I find inspiration watching other people climb, watching other people take on goals, achieve their aims. It's inspiration to me. And yes, I am grateful for that. Thank you very much for this splendiferous opportunity to speak on this table topic. Thank you once again, TM Jane Ostemwegwe.
Thank you so much, TM Otavia. Thank you so much for the beautiful and impromptu response. And now I I throw the latent back to the table topic. Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon. The Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Elemoro. I hope I got it correctly. Over to you. Thank you so much for the privilege to handle the session. Thank you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so kindly, Toastmaster Jane, for that beautiful and exciting session. You did justice to your role, and indeed we are grateful. And of course, I believe everyone who listened to that also had a wonderful time, particularly our speakers. I think it's quite interesting that while I was looking at the background, I discovered uh, the division director and Toastmaster Jane are both joining us from the same location. So I think that's quite interesting. All right, moving on. We'll be entertaining the evaluation of that particular segment of the meeting, which is the table topics evaluation. And to do justice to that, he is an administrator and human resource professional. He bagged his master's degree from the University of Lagos and first degree from the Lagos State University. He is equally an alumni of the University of Virginia, Virginia Frank Barton School of Leadership, and the Barack Obama Young African Leaders Initiative. He started his Toastmasters journey in September 2015 and has served as Vice President Education and President of the Ikeja Toastmasters Club and has also served as the Club Good Director at 19 under the administration of Toastmaster Femi Kolajo, and currently is the Area Director, Area 19. He speaks French and enjoys reading, traveling, and of course, fitness activities. Please, a round of applause, if physical or virtual, for our table topics evaluator for today's meeting, Toastmaster Oluwaseun Shupeng. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you very kindly, Toastmaster Ademola Elemoro Noim, Toastmaster of the day. Kindly confirm I'm being heard. Awesome.
Clearly.
I'll say, okay, thank you. I'll say it's been a splendiferous table topic session so far. Starting with the topics master, Toastmaster Jane, you would agree with me that she gave us so many splendiferous questions. There were things that we can all relate to, and those questions were one of the reasons why we all enjoyed that segment. To start with the first speaker, Toastmaster Queen. She came in with so much confidence and she gave us splendiferous reasons or things that she has learned. She went further to tell us she learned to slow down, she learned new things, she appreciated reading more, and she appreciated opening her mind. Equally, Toastmaster Queen had a smile on her face, and you all will agree that when you have a smile on your face and you're addressing people, that serves more like a magnet because they want to listen to you more and you feel more welcoming. Toastmaster Queen gave a very lovely chronology. She gave a splendiferous chronology through her speech. However, there are a couple of things I will say that Toastmaster Jane can work on. In a virtual meeting, I love the fact that you turned on your camera. That is very awesome. But in a virtual meeting, you can endeavor to try to look at the camera more often. I realized that a couple of times, perhaps you were distracted with some things. You had your face at other places and you spoke quite fast. You can try to work more on your pacing. In all, you had a very audible voice and you gave a very lovely speech. To the next speaker, Toastmaster Josephine. The question was, what do you owe yourself? And that question was a very lovely one. She told us about how she faced obstacles and she was so passionate about that speech. You would see her talking about the time she was pounding and she gave all the expressions of bish bish and all of that. So you feel that you have that feeling. You feel what she is going through. You're crossing those obstacles, talking about how her heart was pounding. It was more like we had the heart in our hands and we saw how it was pounding and all of it. And at the end, she was able to motivate us. Toastmaster Josephine did a very great job. However, I would say that you can do better in terms of your pacing. There were a couple of times when you paced for quite a while. You looked at the camera, you were confident in front of the camera, And I really appreciate that. Great job, Toastmaster Josephine. And then on to Toastmaster, or intending Toastmaster Uzoma. The question was, what do you find inspirational? Toastmaster Uzoma did awesome. You were splendiferous equally. You emphasize on kindness, the need to be kind, and these are things that, or this is a situation that we really need in these trying times in our society at large. Kindness, the need to show kindness, and the fact that kindness cannot be overemphasized. You were calm, you were confident, and you had your camera on. However, I realized that the placement of your camera, virtual meetings are quite, there are certain things that we need to take note of at virtual meetings. Placing your camera at a very good spot. I realized perhaps you were lying down, having your camera, you're holding on to your camera, so you couldn't really do much of gesticulations and body language. So I would say that subsequently, you can try place your camera somewhere so we can see that hand gesture more. You had a very lovely smile and you did excellent. Over to Able DD. The question was, why am I me? And you see how she dished it all out. She said, I believe in myself. I believe I am the wife like no other. I am the DD like no other, and all of that. Those were words that were inspiring and motivating. She said something again, that I'm the mother like no other. And then she carried a child, placed him on her thighs. That effort shows how splendiferous that speech was. For the next speaker, Toastmaster Octavia, I'll say the only thing I see here is that you didn't have your camera on, but you had a very lovely speech. You didn't make use of pause fillers. You had a lot of energy in your speech, and equally, you had a perfect pacing. I would advise that at subsequent meetings, virtual meetings, you endeavor to have your camera on. In all, it was a great segment, and I enjoyed every bit of it. Over to you, the Toastmaster of the day.
Wow. Thank you so kindly, Toastmaster Oluwaseun Shukweyin, for that beautiful evaluation. I must attest to the fact that it's been a wonderful meeting so far. The way we've called the meeting to order, the way we've shared few opinions about the meeting, the way the general evaluators, handle this particular segment, and then the table topic segment. Wow, those questions were on point. And of course, we just received a very beautiful evaluation of that particular segment. At this point, I would like to, transition our minds to I think we should go for like 2 minutes or 3 minutes break, just to meet our guests. I don't know if we have guests in the house. I don't know if they're shy, but we can just meet them for 2 to 3 minutes, and then we can proceed to the prepared speeches. Okay, I think I can see intending Toastmaster Jean. If you can hear me, can you unmute your mic? Let's know more about you, how you get to hear of Festac Toastmasters, and what you think so far. Jean, if you can hear me, kindly unmute your mic. All right, I don't think Jean is on the call. How about Angela Ogbadu?
Yeah, hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Angela. How's it going? What do you think of our meeting so far, and how did you get to hear about Festac Toastmasters?
Pretty good. Good afternoon. The meeting has been interesting. I just got to know your patterns, and I think I like what you have. I was invited by the president, the president of Nora K, and it's my first time, either virtual or live, and I think it's a beautiful one.
Thank you so kindly for that.
Your voice.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much, Senator Smart Angela. Since you've mentioned that Madam President is the one that invited you, I want to believe she's going to be following up on you, following up with you, and see how we can also bring you on board. Toastmasters is a very big world, and we would really love for you to be part of it. How about I think Blessing? Blessing, if you can hear us, can you unmute your mic and say hello?
Hello, good evening. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good evening, good afternoon. How's it going? Can you tell us how you got to hear about Festac Toastmasters and what you think of? I think you joined during the course of the meeting. You can just tell us how you feel so far.
So far, I'm just getting to know what Toastmaster is all about and how it operates. I was invited by the VP Ichioma Emefiena.
All right, thank you so much for sharing that with us. Toastmasters.
Toastmaster Lemoro, can you hear me?
I think he's having network challenges. His
Fellow
screen is
Toastmasters
frozen.
and guests. Okay, we are still on 5 minutes break, but we'll be back shortly. He's trying to log back in. So which other guest is in the house? Who is also a guest? Tell us how you heard about Festac Toastmasters Club. Pending the time the Toastmaster of the day joins the call. Toastmaster or Toastmaster Jin. Hello, intending Toastmaster or Toastmaster Jin. If you are there, please unmute your microphone. Madam Didi, maybe you have any announcement to make pending the time the TOD joins.
Hello, Toastmaster Jirade. I would suggest that we move the meeting forward. It's 8 minutes after 3, and we have 3 prepared speeches to go. So I would like to stand in for the Toastmaster of the day and, of course, segue into the prepared speeches session.
Okay.
All right, then. Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have the prepared speeches session here, just like the Toastmasters of the day might have hinted at the beginning of the meeting. Toastmasters meetings have 3 main parts. We have the table topic session that just finished, which is about impromptu speeches. Then we have the prepared speeches session, which is about speeches that have been prepared according to projects that have been specified by Toastmasters International. When these speakers have prepared and are ready, they indicate to the Vice President of Education that they would like to speak, and they are scheduled for a speech and assigned an evaluator and receive evaluations, which come up in the third segment of the meeting. Today we have 3 speakers, and the first speaker to give a speech today is intending Toastmaster Chioma Emefiena. Chioma Emefiena is a lady that I have a lot of admiration for, because she is very, very enthusiastic, very determined, very hardworking, very, I could use the word splendiferously indefatigable. She is the Charter Vice President Education of Festac Toastmasters Club. And today she will be giving a speech. Now, there's something we need to understand. Her speech is not based on any particular project. It is a special speech which she actually requested to give in front of a group in preparation for an event somewhere that she might need to give the speech. And we thought, okay, why not come give the speech, receive an evaluation, looking forward to when you are going to be ready to give your icebreaker speech. So please make very welcome to the elect 10. But before you do so, I'd like to mention that she will have an evaluator, and I would like to give the evaluator just a minute to give an idea, the method that he's going to take to evaluate the speech by intending Toastmaster Chioma Emefiona. The evaluator of that speech will be our area director and past president of Lighthouse Prestige Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Salif Mohammed. Toastmaster Salif, a minute on the screen. Please take charge.
Thank you very kindly, Toastmaster Kubi DTM. Intending Toastmaster Emefiona Chioma. Are you on call?
Yes, I am. Good afternoon.
All right. Congratulations for taking the bull by the horns to turn what most people consider an obstacle to an opportunity to prepare yourself for your speech and to get ready for the great journey of Toastmasters. I look forward to hearing your speech. The title of your speech is The Power of Absence. I have no doubt in my mind that this is going to be a splendiferous speech. I look forward to having a dose of what you are about in Toastmasters. Over to you, the Toastmaster of the day.
All right, thank you very much, Toastmaster Salif. And of course, I will not waste any time before bringing to the electing Toastmaster Chioma Emefiona. So, ladies and gentlemen, Toastmaster Chioma Emefiona, the power of absence. The power of absence, Toastmaster Chioma Emefiona.
The sun, it can only be appreciated by its absence. The longer the days of the rain, the sun is craved. For too many hot days and the sun is overwhelming. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I am here to deliver a speech titled The Power of Absence. But before I go ahead with my speech, I would love to give us a story, please. The Assyrians in the 8th century, they were ruling the Media, and they were ruling them with an iron fist. The Media got tired of this and they needed an out. So they had to fight their way out of the hand of the Assyrian. And after the Media fought their way out of the Assyrian, they decided not to give ultimate power to one man or monarchy. Now, because of that, a lot of crime was happening in the country. Villages are villages, anybody could do anything. There was a total lawlessness in the country. This continued for a long time. But there was one village, there was a man named Diocese. Now, Diocese in his own village was an arbiter for them. He was a judge. He was fighting and making sure that there was law in his own village. Diocese's fame grew, and a whole lot of people got to know about Diocese. Now, the whole of media started coming to Diocese to help settle their disputes and give them advice. At a point, he was so famous and he decided to take a break. He said, I've given so much to the world. I need to give myself some time. So Diocese retired. Now, when justice retired, the crime increased. There was still a lot of crime. It became terrible, way worse than when justice was even trying to judge and make sure there was law. The whole villages came back together and were like, okay, what do we do? They decided to name justice their king for him to rule all over. They pleaded with justice, who refused at some point. But later he came back and was like, okay, fine. I agree to become the king, but on one condition. You will have to build me a palace. You will have to surround me with bodyguards, and you will need to build a capital city from where I'll be ruling from. The media agreed to all of this. Now, during justice reign, you do not get to see justice except on permission, and that is only once in a week. Justice reigned for 53 years. He expanded the Median Empire and even established the foundation of the Persian Empire under his great-grandson, Cyrus. The people's form of respect for justice turned into a worship because they saw him as a god and not a mortal. Now, what is the essence of this, my story? Everything in the world depends on the power of presence and absence. It is inevitable. The power of presence is actually inevitable because when you show yourself too much, you get to lose value. So let's say, for example, you have a skill that you are running. If you do not find a way to make your skill rare and hard to find, it will eventually lose value. So for you to be able to make use of the power of absence to your own benefit, you need to always learn to know when to withdraw a bit. Do not always show yourself too much. Learn to withdraw a bit, give a space, and then come back. Because in the process of coming back, you get to regain a lot of respect and power. Now, this will only apply when you have already established yourself in a particular field. So let's not say, for example, you are just coming in and you leave. If you're just coming in into a world stage and nobody knows you, you will be easily forgotten. But if you come into the world stage and you have created something that is recognizable, reproducible, and splendiferous, when you go back and come back, you will have a lot of respect and you would have gained a lot of power. Now, I'm going to be ending this speech with a quote from the Caravan of the Dreams, 1968. A man said to Dervish, "Ah, my friend, where have you been all this while?" And Dervish responded and said, "The word, where have you been all this while, is more sweeter in my ear than the word, why have you come again?" So I would love to admonish us all to always learn to be upskilled and show ourselves always at the right time. Good day, fellow Toastmasters, and have a nice day.
Thank you so kindly, Choma, for that wonderful, and let me use the word splendiferous, and let me also use the word bemusing. So that was very, very beautiful, and I look forward to some, getting some feedback pertaining that particular presentation. Thank you very kindly for sharing that with us. Before I move on, I think I may need to ask some questions. Toastmaster Kubi, if you can hear me, our next speaker now is the Didi, and I'd like to confirm if she will be evaluated by Toastmaster Salif or Toastmaster Queen.
Oh, the next speaker is myself, and I will be evaluated by Toastmaster Queen.
All right. Thank you for that. Without taking much of our time, I would like to go back to my autopilot and give the introduction of our evaluator for our next speaker. Our next speaker joined Toastmasters in 2016 and is the past Vice President Education of Lighthouse Prestige Toastmasters Club. A passion for health and wellness led her to become a certified women's dance coach, teaching exotic fitness, and she enjoys reading and writing. Please, a round of applause for Toastmaster Queen as she gives us the objectives of our next speaker.
Good afternoon again, and good afternoon, Toastmaster Kubi. Toastmaster Kubi would be giving his icebreaker, which is a level 1 speech, the first speech of this pathway, because we know he's a veteran Toastmaster. And the purpose of an icebreaker, the purpose of your speech is for the member to introduce himself to the club and to learn the basic structure of a speech. The member is free to use notes if needed. And good luck, Toastmaster Kubi.
Thank you so kindly, Toastmaster Queen. That was splendiferously splendiferous. And I hope the grammarian can take note of the words I just used. Please take note. And Toastmaster Kubi, I'm sure you're not gonna be needing notes as stated in your objectives, but that was fun to hear. Our next speaker is a writer and communications consultant. He's also the president of Mary Toastmasters Ikeja and also the Club Growth Director 2 of Division F, District 94. I must add that our next speaker is one of the most intriguing and interesting characters I've seen in Toastmasters, and I can't wait to listen to this particular speech. Please, a round of applause as we welcome to the virtual lectern, Toastmaster Kubi Uyanga.
It's a bizarre but wonderful feeling to arrive dead center of a target you didn't even know you were aiming for. That's serendipity. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Good afternoon, Toastmasters, friends, and our guests on the call. I have been on this side of consciousness for 35 years and then some. And if there's one thing my experiences have proven, it is that you may know the beginning of a journey, but you can't for a fact tell how it ends. I have experiences to prove this to you. You see, my journey began on the 12th of December, 1986 at St. Luke's Hospital, Anua, Uyo. And I think I wasn't particularly excited to arrive because I was bawling my eyes out. Then I had no choice but to, of course, adjust to my new situation. At that time, when I joined my family, it was my parents and my elder sister. Eventually, 2 brothers followed me, and it was a nice life. I mean, it was a nice life. But then one thing I remember from those early years is that I fought with my sister all the time as a child. And as a young adult, I fought with my dad a lot also. So after my secondary and primary education in Five States, I moved to Federal University of Technology, Yola. I mean, at that time, I had straight A's, I had this high jam score. So I was so confident I was going to get this course I needed. I even traveled there before the list came out. Lo and behold, when the list came out, I was given pure chemistry as against civil engineering that I had applied for. Of course, I was demoralized. I was disappointed, and this led me to treat my studies with levity. I completed 100 level with a CGPA of less than 2. I have experiences in my career too. I mean, my career has been splendiferously variegated, if I might use that term. I have worked as a civil engineer. It didn't interest me. I have worked as a screenwriter and actor. It didn't pay me well. I have worked as a copywriter in ad agencies. It didn't give me the time to build my dreams. And how about this thing, this journey, this one, Toastmasters? See, I joined Toastmasters 9 years ago after I discovered it in a book I read. I can still remember my icebreaker at Asu Rockstars Toastmasters my time. But 3 speeches into my competent communication manual, I was compelled to move from Abuja and spend a year in Uyo. There I was, neophyte Toastmaster, 3 speeches in a city with no Toastmasters Club. my journey had been cut short, or so it seemed. But then if we re-engineer our minds to the theme of this meeting, how obstacles can be turned around, you realize that, I mean, the truth is, I'm not trying to paint a solid picture to inspire a pity party. Great things have happened to me also. Even in my family, that sister I always fought with is one of my best friends today. And my dad, today, we enjoy mutual respect and a wonderful relationship. Also, I spoke about that situation where I was here studying chemistry. I wanted to study civil engineering, and then my grades were nothing to write home about. But the truth is, eventually I decided to put in for a transfer, and I worked it out, and luckily I was transferred to the Department of Civil Engineering, and I sat up. And I ended and got my degree with honors. In fact, my final semester, 4.5 GPA. And of course, I decided to leave that agency, found my business, and build my business. Of course, there are obstacles on the path every day. Even tomorrow, there might be an obstacle, but it has been a fulfilling and a rewarding journey. And Toastmasters, I realized that the brainwave made me realize that I joined the club in Abuja because someone found it. So I decided to found a club in Uyo. And today, 8 years later, Uyo Premier Speakers Toastmasters is still going strong and helping the people of Uyo to become better communicators and better leaders. So ladies and gentlemen, I've had my own obstacles, but with a mindset shifts, I was able to turn some of those obstacles into opportunities. And that's the message I'm leaving you with today. No matter the challenge, no matter the obstacle, no matter the situation which might be negative in a way, if you can re-engineer your mind, if you can change yourself and how you see the problem, you can always turn it around. And always remember that no matter where you are today, a new Toastmaster, your heart is beating. No matter where you are today, it doesn't matter, because you can't ever tell how it will end. The Toastmaster.
Thank you very kindly, Toastmaster Kubi Uyanga, for that very authentic and passionate presentation. And particularly, I would like to remind Agwa Miriam for today that that speech was splendiferously splendiferous. And I wish Tem Kubi more speech like that in the future. Thank you so much, Tem Kubi. I really connected with that part about admission, doing very well in JAM, and expecting merit, and then you get given something else. Welcome to Nigeria. And I just connected with that. Thank you so much. Moving on with our next speech, to evaluate that particular speech, is a member of Seaside Toastmasters Club who joined Toastmasters in 2019. He is an engineer with an energy company. He loves seeing natural reliefs, listening to traditional music, and reading, and also engaging in mental meditation. Please, a round of applause as we entertain the objectives for our next speaker. Welcome, Toastmaster Ayola Fadi. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you very much to Ademola Elemoro for that warm introduction. I would first go ahead and recite the objectives of TM Chidi Chukum, the speech. Objectives are that the purpose of the project is for the member to learn about different communication styles and identify his or her primary style. Then the purpose of the speech is for the member to share the impact of her style on others. Those are TM Chidi Chukwudimadu's speech objectives. Yes, I'm done, Tim Edamoro.
All right. Thank you very kindly, Toastmaster Ayola, for that succinct and splendiferous explanation of the objectives. Our next speaker, as rightly mentioned, is our division director. And what that means is a lot of things. It means what she's told us about in our topics evaluator, a wonderful woman, a wonderful leader, a wonderful person, a wonderful professional, and so on and so forth. Today, she'll be speaking on from the Dynamic Leadership Manual, Level 2, Learning Your Style, Project 1, Understanding Your Communication Style, title, Adapt and Flow. She'll be speaking for 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes. Please welcome to the virtual lectern our Division Director, Toastmaster Chukudi Madu.
We all have our own unique communication style. Some of us have taken time to analyze and understand the buckets in which we fall in, while some of us, like the me of the old days, just breathe through communication. We speak, we talk, but we've never really bothered to know where we fall in and how our communication rub off on the others. Research has shown that communication style and not a person's facial looks determine how others would react to our communication. Mr. Toastmaster of the day, thank you most graciously for your splendiferous introduction. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, do you know your communication style? The truth is, it's easy for us to know that we have our unique communication style. The hard part is identifying what that style is. Before I joined Toastmasters, yes, I loved to talk to people. One person, two persons, a group of people. But what I didn't know was, how did I sound to them? Do these people want to hear me speak again? Or are they just being nice and say, oh, well done, Chidi? When I joined Toastmasters, I understood that there was a difference between speaking and communicating. You can speak because you're talking. I mean, you talk and you speak, yes. But are you communicating? When I started my first part, that basically spoke to understanding your communication style, my first ever understand your communication style part, I thought I knew what it was. Because as I speak and I get feedback, and most of the feedback goes like, oh yeah, so that was a good speech. But how did I come off to my listeners? Fellow Toastmasters and guests, Jim Rohn, an American entrepreneur, has said that communication is 20% what you say and 80% how you say it. So it basically boils down to your tone, how you speak to people. Have you ever wondered why it is that you hear two people with similar voice patterns speak? One person sounds so splendiferous that you want to hear him or her speak again. And the other person, you just want to tell the person to shut up. Has anybody here ever wondered why? Anyone? Now, I want to know, have you listened to yourself speak? Have you had your speech recorded? And then you go back and listen to that recording? Is anybody as analytical as that as me? Please, if you are, kindly indicate by raising your hand or using the reaction button. I need to know. How did you feel? Now, Toastmaster Elemoro, the very first time you heard yourself speak, how did you feel?
Of course, I felt I was improving. I felt I was improving. So it was nice.
Well, so it was nice. The first time I heard myself speak, I went, oh my God! Is that me? Is that how I sound? Ah! Certainly would not want to hear myself speak again. But you know what that did for me was I began to put myself in the shoes of my listener. I go back each time I speak and I have it recorded, listen to myself and begin to tweak and fine-tune my voice so that when I speak and I listen to myself, I would want to listen to myself speak again. That way, when I communicate with others, they hear me as I would love to hear myself. And then I am passing the message that I am meant to pass to them. Interestingly, Toastmasters International has condensed the different communication styles for me into 4. Now, we have the direct communicators, we have the supportive style communicators, we have the initiative communicators, and we have the analytical. If you ask me what my style is, I say they are all my style. How? Because I've learned to adapt and flow with the situation. The style that I embody at any point in time is strict to fit in to whoever I am communicating with. So when I want to communicate with my sons, 90% of the time I use initiative style. I initiate the conversation. I ask them questions because I want to know what's going on with them. Sometimes it's the supporting style with them for me because I just want to be their cheerleader. I want them to know that they can be relaxed and calm around me. Most times when I communicate with my team members, even at the division level, sometimes it's initiative, sometimes it's direct, sometimes it's analytical. It all depends on what's happening, how it's happening, and where we are. I know there are times I have come all analytical and direct with Toastmaster Elemoro. I don't like, but sometimes I look back like, okay, sorry about the other time. I communicate with Toastmaster Abdullah, and sometimes I just go all direct. And I'm like, okay, wait, hold on, you're not in the CIA. Calm down. So fellow Toastmasters and guests, my communication style is a mix of those 4 styles. Because Maya Angelou, an American author, has said that people will forget what you say. People will forget what you do. But people will never forget how you make them feel. How do you want to make people feel, fellow Toastmasters? To know that, you need to go back and understand your communication style. And when you do, remember, adapt and flow with the situation. The Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so kindly, Madam Didi, for that very lively presentation. And I don't know, for me, it was another speech where I kept laughing. And I guess that's what happens whenever I listen to your speeches. And I did enjoy that. And I believe everyone also enjoyed that particular speech. I learned from the fact that there are 3 approaches. And one is the initiating approach. The other one is supportive, and of course, the analytical. And while I was listening to that, I was thinking about so many things. And that's the beauty of Toastmasters. We learn every day. Thank you for that beautiful presentation. And without taking much of our time, I would like to hand over to the general evaluator to do the needful by calling his team members and also handling the evaluation segment of the meeting. Over to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very kindly, Mr. Toastmaster, for relinquishing control of the spotlights. In the words of Les Brown, the American motivational speaker, you can see the beauty of the picture when you are in the frame. it is in connection with this, we will be diving to the evaluation segments. However, before I call on the speech evaluators, I'll call on the time police. Timer, please, how did the speakers fare as regards time management in the course of their speeches?
If I must say, it's indeed splendiferous with the way we kept to time in this meeting. And all the speakers did very well, starting from the table topic section.
Sorry, for now, restricted to the prepared speech speakers. The prepared speech speakers.
Oh, okay, perfect. All right. For the prepared speeches, ITM Choma did absolutely well. She used about 4 minutes, 40 seconds for her speech, which was wonderful. Delivering such wonderful speech in a short time was quite powerful. DTM Kubi, as usual, always doing great. He used 6 minutes, 43 seconds for his speech. And DTM Chidi used 7 minutes, 10 seconds for 7 minutes. 7 minutes, 10 seconds.
Disqualified.
Yes.
Disqualified.
7 minutes, 10 seconds.
Okay. Thank you very kindly, the timer for today. So now I'll call on the speech evaluators for the prepared speeches. The first speech was delivered by intending Toastmaster Emefiena Chioma, and she will be evaluated by Toastmaster Salif Mohammed. Toastmaster Salif Mohammed, you have the spotlight.
Thank you very kindly, the General Evaluator. Thank you. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, may I ask for a virtual round of applause for intending Toastmaster Chioma. She has indeed given a splendiferous speech. Thank you very kindly, thank you. Toastmaster Chioma, you started your speech with a quote to set the mood for the speech. That was powerful. That was a very powerful introduction. Afterwards, you started with a story. Only great speakers do what you did in your speech, because stories have a way of hooking any audience, because we are all wired to love stories. Your story is captivating. You spoke with confidence. You have a good command of the English language. And most importantly, you gave the morale of the story. It's one of the best ways to make your speech memorable. You give a story and make a point. Give a story and make a point. If you do that all the time, it's a good way to make your speech memorable. You ended with that morale. After your story, everything in life depends on the power of absence. Your speech is audience-centric. As soon as you finished, you kept talking about you several times. It means that you are referring to the audience. We could connect with you because we could see ourselves in what you were saying. Well done. Although you also gave the word of the day, which is a very wonderful thing in a speech like this. Like I said, only veteran speakers and seasoned speakers do what you have done. You gave the word of the day, although the pronunciation was not completely correct. You said splendiferous instead of splendiferous. Well done. You should also have made use of the pauses, especially when you are asking questions. Overall, wonderful speech. Keep it up and look forward to more speeches from you. The Toastmaster, the General Evaluator, I beg your pardon.
Thank you very kindly, Toastmaster Salif Mohammed. Sorry, please, as I earlier stated, 7 minutes, 10 seconds is qualified, 7 minutes, and the speakers here have a grace of 30 seconds. So 7 minutes till 30 seconds qualifies to be voted for. Timer for the evaluations, it is between 2 to 3 minutes. The red card can only come on when the speaker has used 3 minutes. 2 minutes for the green card, 2 minutes, 30 seconds for the yellow card, and 3 minutes for the red cards for the evaluations. So the second speaker is the Toastmaster Kubi Uyanga, DTM, and he will be evaluated by Toastmaster Queen Kubre. Toastmaster Queen Kubre, welcome to the spotlight.
Thank you, and thank you for pronouncing my surname correctly. Well done, Toastmaster Kubi, on your first speech, on your icebreaker. Well done. That was a very splendiferous way to tell us about yourself, to give us your life story in 4 to 6 minutes, from birth till present. That was done very well. Your use of pauses was next to none. You held us in suspense. You held us, on our toes, listening to you, wanting to hear what you had to say. Like a good example was when you said you had shared about your disappointment of not getting your desired choice of program. And then you said you got to work as a civil engineer. And I thought, finally, he's doing what he wants to do. Then you had a pause, and then you said you didn't enjoy it. That pause kept us in suspense, and it really took us like on an emotional roller coaster ride. And so that kept us interested and engaged throughout your speech. Your use of eye contact was great. Your body language was also very expressive. Your message was inspiring. However, your inspiring message was only passed across towards the end of your speech. I wish you had shared it several times just so that it could buttress, your stories could buttress the message you were passing across, because that message was seen in your story. So I wish you had shared the points earlier on rather than wait till the end, but still it was great. Your hand gestures, although they were effective, there were a few times that they may have been distracting and not in line with your message. There was a time you said you and your father had mutual respect, and you did mutual respect. I was expecting something like, a mutual respect, like to show like it was equal, not one above the other still, even though I know it's still like a respectful respect. But yeah, I think your hand gestures could be more purposeful so that it emphasizes your message rather than distracts from it at certain times. And since you had your story from birth till present, you could have also used the stage a bit more to show like when you were younger and as you grew, your stage play could have been a bit more varied. And I would like to thank you, since I'm also from Akwa Ibom State, that if I ever have to go home, there is a Toastmaster I can always attend, and thanks to you. Again, your message was very inspiring. Thank you for this splendiferous way of inspiring us to turn obstacles to opportunities. And like this evaluation is not an obstacle, it's just an opportunity to do better next time. Well done, Toastmaster Kubi.
Thank you very kindly. That was splendiferously stated. We have less than 10 minutes to vacate the spotlight. So I'll call on the third evaluator for DTM Chidi Madu's speech. Toastmaster Ayola Fadeji, you have the spotlight.
Thank you most kindly. Could we all please give Toastmaster Chidi Chukwudimadu some round of applause for a splendiferous speech? My general remarks. In your conclusion, you told us that we should adapt and flow with the situation. Regardless of whatever communication style we do have, we should try and understand the situation and apply accordingly. You let us know that there are 4 types of communication style according to Toastmasters: initiating, supporting, direct, and analytical. And being your person, you apply them in line with the situation you found yourselves in. Now, what are my commendations? You smiled throughout your speech. What smiles us is that It keeps your audience at rest, at peace, and they can flow with your discussion, with your speech. Then you use questions. The first time was in the introduction, the preamble. You ask the audience that, do we know the communication style we adopt? Then the other time was in the course of your speech, when you ask the audience to raise their hands if they have gone back to their speech and evaluate themselves. That is audience engagement. Now, you use stories. You told us anytime you deliver a speech, you go back, what you do, your children, how you relate to them. Those are stories that make your speech engaging and people can relate easily with yourself, with the speech you are delivering. Then, what would I want you to do better? In your evaluation results, it was stated that you have gone through a questionnaire, you've answered some questionnaire. So I expected that you would give us the feedback. What were those responses? What did you get? What was the result of those questionnaire that you shared? Or I don't know how the questionnaire went about, but I was expecting some information about that. Then you use quotes, 2 quotations. The first one from Jim Rohn, about 20% and 80% of what we do and what we do and how we do it, or you can rather say what we say and how we say it. 20% of the communication is what we say, and 80% is how we say it. That is the impact the speech has on the audience. Then you also use a quote from Maya Angelou. Now, when you use quotes, it shows that you are not just speaking it from the air. You have authority from which you've derived your points. Then you use the word of the day, and then you got feedback from audience. That makes sure that you get a communication from the audience, and you are rest assured that you are not just speaking alone. People are with you. Then finally, you gave us practical steps on how we can best use communication styles. That is that the best way that you should go back to our speech, listen to it, and we should also always try as much as possible to put ourselves in the position of a listener. How would the listener react? I mean, that is the take-home point for everybody in this meeting, that anytime we speak, we should try and imagine that we are the listener, and how do we respond? How do we react to that speech? In all, you scored more than 80% in all the elements of a great speech, from vocal clarity, communication style, in all aspects, tone and all that. You have done great. And I actually don't expect anything less. Thank you very much. Over to you, the general evaluator.
Thank you very kindly, Toastmaster Fade Ayola. We have less than 7 minutes, so I'll call the first member of my team. You have a minute. The counter, Toastmaster Zoe. You have for your reports. Over to you, Toastmaster Zoe.
Thank you very much, TM Lumide. It's been a splendiferous meeting and a splendiferous display of courage from all of us in our attempts to turn our obstacles to opportunities and attain success. Table topic master Jane Osenwegwe scored a whopping 23 points in the use of her ends. I'd say that since we want to look at our obstacles as opportunities, I think she has 23 reasons to do better in our next meeting. So I'll say, well done. Chioma Emefiena in her speech, 9 M's that I counted. TM Queen, 2 M's at 2 different times. Perhaps they just slipped up. But in all, I'll say kudos to all of us. We are making brilliant efforts at overcoming our obstacles of M's, our clutches, our tendencies to hold on these clutches of M's and R's in our speeches. In no distant time, would be very much Toastmasters for a most splendiferous experience in today's meeting. Over to you, General Evaluator Olumide Ajibade.
Thank you, Akanta, for making it concise. The next team member is the listening evaluator, Toastmaster Chidi Chukwudimadu. You have the floor for a minute. Over to you.
Thank you most graciously, the General Evaluator. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, we've had splendiferous speeches from speakers this evening. I have very quickly 3 questions to ask. When Intending Toastmaster Choma was speaking, she said that everything in the world depends on the power of dash and dash. What are the 2 things that everything in the world depends on? The power of what?
Absence and presence.
Awesome. Thank you very kindly for that response, Toastmaster Francis. Who was it that had the feeling of pounded down being pounded in her heart? Who gave that expression?
Toastmaster
Agulu. Thank you. While the General Evaluator was to hand control over to the Toastmaster of the day, he made a statement. What was that statement? Who can remember? He said to sit back and enjoy the rest of the meeting. My last question, how did the General Evaluator refer to the timer while he called him to give the timing of the speeches?
The man in black. Timers police, or the time
Correct.
police rather.
Thank you. All right, that means we did listen. Thank you so much, everyone. Remember, listen to understand and not to respond. Mr. General Evaluator, you have control.
Thank you very kindly. And the last member of my team is the grammarian, Toastmaster Francis Mukulu. You have the floor.
Immense appreciation, Mr. General Evaluator. Thank you for handing control of the meeting to me. I feel very elated and proud of you all, my splendiferous audience. We had so many uses of the word of the day today. I'm so proud of every one of us. We had Toastmaster Olumide used it 3 times, CM Zoe used it once, CM Queen twice, Ayola used it 2 times, Toastmaster Jane used it once as well, Toastmaster Josephine, though it was difficult, Splendora or whatever, I had in my mind, what is this, the word of the day or something else, but well done. She also used it in the chat box. Zoe Otavia, she came back into the picture and took the word of the day to the cleaners. Well done, TM. Best used it once. TM Oluwaseun, he went on and on and on over 5 times. The TM Kubi used the word of the day 2 times. TM Salif used it 2 times. TM Chioma, Spleliferous or whatever, all well and good. Thank you for the attempt at trying to use the word of the day. So the Toastmaster of the day, I felt, okay, he used it 6 times, but I felt he would have used it ample number of times. He kept on saying, that was a beautiful evaluation. That was a beautiful session. Why not infuse the word of the day? That was a splendiferous session and so on. But I loved the niche you created, splendiferously splendiferous. Well done, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. Even the guest Angela, the meeting has been interesting. Why not? The meeting has been splendiferous, an opportunity to use the word of the day and take it to heart. Some wrong expressions. Anyone that came by my way would have made it short. Anyone that came my way. She told us about how I think it should have been, she told us how I heard one of the best way. I think it should be one of the best ways, since we are referring to one out of many. Respect. I think the right pronunciation should be respect. More sweeter. It is not advisable in the English language. Double comparison is wrong. It's either you say more sweet or sweeter, not more sweeter. Take that out of your lexicon. Some splendiferous phrases. I had segue, fantastic, splendiferous, meaning to transition, neophyte, a novice, and an amateur. Then to cap it all up, I had next to none. Well done, my wonderful and splendiferous audience, for putting the word of the day, splendiferous, to good use. I hereby return control to you, Mr. General Evaluator. Take it away, please.
Thank you very kindly, the grammarian for today. As a general evaluator for today's meeting, I'll round off by telling you that the session was wonderful. I love the part where the president came through. In spite of the network glitch, she came through. She still addressed us. When I love the switch, when the network kicked out Toastmaster Kubi Yanga stepped into the shoes so that we won't fall short of time. The table topic sessions was lovely. The respondents were fantastic. They were splendiferous. I love the questions. They were lovely and inspiring. Also, the grammarian sent periodic reminders for us to use the word of the day, and that was why many used it for an ample number of time. It was lovely. It was great. However, these are my recommendations, few recommendations to make to take this great meeting to a greater height. I noticed that when the president came on board, I would love a short message, a short word of encouragement. If it's just to tell us the team again or encourage us with the team before introducing the Toastmaster of the day, I would suggest just encouraging us before introducing the Toastmaster of the day. Also, I noticed the timer wasn't called after the table topic session. After the table topic session, before the evaluator comes on board, I would suggest that the timer is called on. That way, we will know those that are qualified, or some didn't even know how they fared as regards the usage of time. I also noticed that some speakers didn't round off when they saw the red card. I would suggest that the red card is a signal that whatever you are doing, round off so we can keep track of our usage of time. The last recommendation, I noticed the Toastmaster of the day was excellent. He did very well. But I would suggest that when introducing speakers, after telling us about the speech, I would suggest the title should be distinctly called so that we can separate. Some people won't get the title of some speakers' speeches, but because I have the agenda, I was able to look through, calling it distinctly so that people can pick the title of the speech out when they were being called on. Will be lovely. You know, it was a wonderful meeting. I enjoyed myself. It was a learning experience, and it was splendiferous. Over to you, the Toastmaster of the day. The Toastmaster is not on the call, so I'm returning the control to the President, Toastmaster Nora King, to round off the meeting. Toastmaster Nora King, over to you. Toastmaster of the day. Hello? Hello, Toastmaster Lemora, are you on the call? Toastmaster Nora.
Hello, Temolumide.
Oh, hello, Toastmaster
Hello.
Lemoro. Hello, I
Sorry
can hear
about
you.
that. Sorry about that. I had to switch my data. I really apologize for that. My data was exhausted. So thank you very kindly for that beautiful one. I really appreciate all our speakers for today. I appreciate all our role players. I appreciate all our guests who were able to be here today. I think Madam President is probably not available. If Madam President is here, please let us have you on the call. All right. For the sake that she's not here, we also have to move on to another meeting. I would like to call for adjournment. Anyone would like to move a motion to the third Saturday of the month?
I, intending Toastmaster Zoe Octavia Obaze, seconds the motion. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Seconded by?
Why we are adjourning without the president giving closing remarks, please?
All right. I don't think she's on call, is she?
Have you called her? Please.
All right. So let someone call her and let's see how we can round up the meeting. I believe we are supposed to be having another meeting after this particular one.
It appears she's having a hard time connecting.
If the president cannot connect, can we have the vice president education do the closing remarks? Madam VPE. Or the vice president membership. Who's on the call to give us the closing remarks so we can proceed and end the meeting?
I don't know if they have been able to reach the president now.
Toastmaster Lemoro.
Just want to at best, please just go ahead and support the president by giving the closing remarks, please.
All right. In absence of the president, I want to first of all thank our distinguished guests and the team available in this call for bringing out their time Like a famous writer once said that the best gift you can give to someone is your time. And I really appreciate everyone for joining us on today's meeting. And I thank you very much. Thank you all.
Okay, VPM, please confirm that you have obtained the contacts of all the guests on the call.
Not yet, not yet. I was thinking our VP Education was doing that because, you know, acting as a timekeeper, I was keeping record of the time, and so
Okay.
I would ask her.
Okay, please do so right away.
All right, all right.
All our guests today, please, if you'd be so kind to just drop your contact on the chat room, your WhatsApp number, that would be very great, so we can reach you and share invitations to subsequent meetings. Thank you very much. Just type in your WhatsApp number on the chat room and the Vice President membership will pick it up from there. Thank you so much.
I also remembered. Okay, I also remember some of the guests saying who invited them. So later on, I would reach out to the Toastmasters they mentioned to collect their details also.
I think there's a number in the chat room.
Yes, I've collected that one now.
Okay, 2 numbers now. Okay, that's yours also. Okay. Okay, so in that event, I'd like to thank everyone for joining. Thank you to all our guests for coming. Thank you to all our members, all our division executives for supporting us. And of course, the promise is that we will only get better. The next meetings will be more splendiferous than this one. Thank you all. We appreciate. We have to go now. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye.